And this week's topic of the week, of course, is video games being released before they're finished. They're actually finished. That has been a huge problem since last generation, the PS3, Xbox 360 era of video games, especially when more and more gamers have come online and they can get patches to fix their game post-release. As a matter of fact, we've seen this with the biggest offender not too recent was Ubisoft's The Division. We also saw it with, well, another big game that they had a problem with that I know a lot about, Assassin's Creed Unity, with all the glitches and bugs and stuff that was fixed 6 months later. Matter of fact, it's actually a good game now that it's fixed, but it wasn't when I played it, so there you go. And I think it's because we're not holding these video game publishers to a higher standards, because they know that we're going to buy their annualized releases no matter what. Activision, for example, releases Call of Duty every year, and we just kind of let it go, you know, when something doesn't work the way it's supposed to. But don't think that we punish those that do get it right their first time. The Witcher 3, a huge success, right? Sold millions and millions of copies. The most recent Horizon Zero Dawn, an epic game. Grand Theft Auto 5, great single player. Yeah, we had to patch a lot of multiplayer stuff when multiplayer finally arrived, but the initial game was great, right? For Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar, Naughty Dog, you know, the Uncharted games, Nintendo. A lot of these publishers seem to get it right, developers / publishers. But it seems like the big ones like EA, Ubisoft, Activision, Square Enix, even Capcom seem to get it wrong. Remember, Street Fighter V had netcode issues along with Battlefield 4 when it first released. Marvel vs. Capcom on console still has netcode issues to this day. And with many of these big companies holding the biggest franchises in video games, they know that you're going to buy their content anyway, that it doesn't really matter. You're going to buy it. You're going to purchase it. So they make these ridiculous deadlines that sometimes the developers just can't meet. They can't iron out. The best thing that you can ever hear about a video game is for it to be delayed, right? Most of the time. For example, we see Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed, huge delays, and that game came out and it was damn near perfect upon release. However, sometimes the delay doesn't even help. For example, the PC version of Batman Arkham Knight, horrendous release there that kind of got patched later and it kind of works now, but still not to the best of its ability. The console versions of the game still look much prettier and run much better. No Man's Sky, it's going to be, you basically bought an alpha with that game. That game is going to be patched for over the next 10 years probably, or as long as Hello Games can still afford to put someone in the development chair. Now you can expect this with MMOs and multiplayer only games. I would expect it a lot more because you don't know how many people are going to play your game online upon release. But when it comes to single player games, I just don't understand what the deal is, why you can't push for a more perfect game before it's released. Uncharted 4 got delayed and it was almost a masterpiece of a game. So we saw that with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Sure, it has some hardware issues, frame rate issues running in the full screen 1080p mode that could be patched later on, but as a handheld game, the game works pretty well and everything looks okay and it feels okay. And so it's just frustrating to see something like this happen to Mass Effect. And Mass Effect, these companies have to have QA testers that tell them, hey, your character animations here are bogus, man. Look at their eyes. I mean, they're just dead inside. There's no soul here. You have a QA tester that's saying this isn't going to work, but then you got the publishers that say, well, we got to make it work because we got to make money for this physical quarter because we didn't do anything the last physical quarter, blah, 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 blah. And that's generally what happens, unfortunately. So I wish that there was something that we as gamers can do about it. And it's not as easy as saying vote with your wallet here, right? Like you can say vote with your wallets when it comes to microtransactions and paid DLC content, and just say don't buy games that pressure you into that, or annualize games not being broken and things like that. Just don't buy their annual iterations, and maybe they'll get the message. But with Mass Effect, it's a different story, isn't it? Kind of. The game does have microtransactions. Just saying. But as far as this, you don't know when the next Mass Effect's going to come, so a lot of people want to play it on day one and stuff. And unfortunately, we all feel like alpha testers, right? Alpha and beta testers. And that shouldn't be a case. There needs to be some sort of system in place to hold these publishers and developers to higher standards. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what we can do. Maybe you guys who are a lot smarter on the internet than me know what we can do, and you can leave a comment down below or make your voice heard. One of the things that we all can do is just everybody tweet at BioWare and say, fix this shit, this is bad, please don't ever do this again, blah blah. Making your voice heard, that's really the only thing that I know that you can do, is make a video, make a blog, make a tweet, let them hear you, make sure you're being heard. Post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram, do whatever you gotta do, and make sure that you're being heard. And then if the companies don't listen to you, then you boycott their games. Seems legit, right? That's my idea. But my idea is a long-term process. What is your idea? Maybe you've got a quicker return process. But like I said, you can always leave that in the comments below. Thank you for letting me rant on this subject, because it is frustrating, and I know I'm not the only one that it frustrates, right?